Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let me just turn off this one. There's no need to have this. As some of you already know, I'm a Linux user, so I've been using open source tools to generate my last video. So I'm still in the experimental phase, including this video. I'm using my Nikon D610 camera. It's a very good piece, but pretty much any camera with video capabilities will do. I'm using the microphone that my son is using as well for his reviews. So I hope everything works well. I'm sorry for coughing or any kind of noises that I produce. I apologize for that. I'm still in the recovery mode. I promised in the past, I believe, to review a few things that made my life a little bit easier during my stroke recovery, and they're still making it easier. Days after I returned home back in June of 2019 after the stroke, I probably got a cold or something. I caught something, maybe a little virus. My immune system was still not the best one, not the strongest, and I would catch things easily. Unfortunately, I could not take any medication. That was pretty much forbidden. It went against my recovery. So I had to resort to solutions outside the realm of medication. After one really horrible night that I had, I could not swallow, and I couldn't probably, I felt a little bit digested, so I couldn't really breathe as well. The next day, I went and got myself a humidifier. We thought that this would be very, very helpful, and I went immediately to Bed Bath & Beyond. I had the coupon, the 20% coupon. That helped a lot. And I got myself this humidifier, which I strongly recommend. If you have respiratory issues or feel you need a humidifier. Now, I do not work for Homedics. Let me get this out of my chest first. I don't work for Bed Bath & Beyond. I have no interest in making these people additional income. But in the past, I had some not so great experiences with humidifiers, and some of them seemed to spill water, etc., etc. They were not working as well. Now this here, the Total Comfort Homedics, is something that I have been using since June of 2019, and right now it's November 2019. I have had no issues whatsoever. I have to tell you that. As advertised, the steam that comes out, and I'm not sure you can see it in the video, but is not colorless. You can see, but I've noticed that 1 gallon of distilled water, which I highly recommend, can get you very far, probably 5-6 days if you keep it in a modest setting of 2. I've been extremely happy with it in 2, so I don't think that I need to bump it up. Now this is the maximum, and again, I don't know if you can see the mist. Supposedly this humidifier turns off immediately after a certain number of hours. I think it's 72 hours or something along those lines. I have not tested that. I cannot tell you this is what happens. I have to tell you, however, that once a month I do clean this with a 50-50 mix of white vinegar and water. So I put basically inside the tank, shake it a little bit, change positions, make sure that the mix covers the entire area, and then I go back and refill it with distilled water. I clean the inside too, because you may notice some deposits, some pinkish deposits at least. I go with a cotton swab and clean the whole area inside. It's not a big deal. It's very quick. It'll be just a minute or 2 at the most. Let me turn this thing off now because it doesn't serve much of a purpose. It's very quiet. I have had no issues whatsoever with noise. No water has been spilled, as I said, and that, I believe, helped me a lot with my allergies and respiratory issues, which may not be major, but they were good enough to make my recovery a little bit more miserable. This is not very heavy, it's pretty light. It supposedly takes about 1.4 gallons of water. I myself use 1 gallon and goes pretty close to the top. So, I'll leave it there, so I don't go any more than a gallon, which is what you get in the stores. Most stores sell distilled water between 80 and 80 cents to $1. That's how much I pay, and I'm pretty happy with it. I have not noticed any kind of smell. As it gets close to the time when you have to clean it, it will smell a little bit. I can smell the mist a little bit. But it does the job. And I do recommend the Homedics Total Comfort. It's one of the cheapest models that Homedics sells. You can definitely pay more money and get higher end models if you want. I have found this one to be sufficient for what I need. And I recommend it for everyone who is going through stroke recovery and has some respiratory issues or allergy issues, or if you just have respiratory issues and you think that you need a humidifier, this is a good model. Now, the other thing that I used extensively was Vicks. I used every day, actually. It helps me breathe easier. I just rub it here, and like I said, I breathe a lot easier. Finally, you see me in this video, I'm wearing a beanie. Well, this is one of the latest things for me. The weather here just got a little bit colder. You might have heard already that for a better recovery after stroke, being in a warmer climate helps. A little bit of humidity and a little bit of warmth helps. I'm not talking about hot and humid or extremely hot weather. That's not good either. But cold does not help. You will feel it here. I guess the blood is still loose here, and it's pretty warm. So that contrast will bother you most definitely. So a beanie will do the job, will help. It helped me yesterday, all day yesterday, and I'm still wearing it. And I think that beanie can set you back for just a few dollars. I don't think that you have to spend a lot of money for it. I do recommend, so between the humidifier, Vicks, or any other solution, and a beanie, that will help you, especially during the colder days as the weather gets pretty nippy and the interior gets dry. Last but not least, I would like to give you a small update. I had an MRI done, my second MRI, and it showed progress. So I'm not saying I'm out of the woods yet. I'm not. Statistics still don't favor us, stroke patients, but at this point in time, I'll take any good news. Sadly, I had to deal with a death in the family that was devastating, and I'm surprised I can even sit here with a straight face and even smile. But I realized that for the good of my family, I have to stay strong, and I have to be more calculating, put things behind me. I will talk about grieving during the time of stroke as I experienced it. For the moment, I allow myself some cold feelings, if I may say so. I do feel the death in the family. I do feel the loss. It's devastating, but I have to stand strong. I have to stand strong for my family, and I'm sure you'll do the same thing. So that's all I have for now. Happy Veterans Day. A big thank you to you, our veterans. Those of you who are no longer with us, if you can hear us from where you are, thank you very much for your service. My father was a World War II veteran, so I have quite an appreciation for the job that our veterans have done. My father served in the U.S. Army when he was still 17 years old. he and his brother. I cannot emphasize the importance of honoring our veterans. It's crucial that we do so. There are people who put their lives on the line, and some of them never returned home. So a big thank you to our veterans. Happy Veterans Day. Sorry, and I will get back as soon as I can. I'm still learning my open source skills in video editing and taking videos using my camera. That's all for now, and see you later.